very late, particularly our friends tonight from India who are you're very, very welcome. This is designed not for the investor type who just wants to make the money, because all you need to learn as an investor is how to deposit and how to withdraw. Those two things are simple, so you do not require this training. This training is geared to those of you that want to build a team, want to build an organization, and want to leverage the advantage of our compensation plan and other things. So we will get started just in a moment. I see Alfred's in the room. Thanks, Alfred, for joining us. And Alfred is here as well. So there we go. We've got Alfred as well. Andrea's in the room. Arif is always in the room. We've got Adel. Hello, welcome to you. We've got Arnold and Asaru. Lots of A's. Not too many B's, but I know you're here, Blossom, and Christian's here as well, as is Chris, as is Ellen, as is Esben, as is Goya and Glenn, and Gaurav's here, and Ebuk's here, and iPhone is here. iPhone, you're here. Wow. iPhone is always here. I wonder, is Samsung here or Nokia? Let's see. Did they arrive today? Irfan, thank you. Gabriel's here. James is here. James Terry's here. Jason's here. Jerome's here. John's here. John W's here. John Bones here. Jim's here. Kay's here. KD's here. Cloudy's here. We've got Slovenia in the house. Welcome. We've got our good friend from, I can't tell you where this guy lives, but Mr. LL from, this is Larry. Larry lives in Ireland. So Larry, welcome to the call. Thank you for joining us all the way from Ireland, my good friend Larry. He lives just down the lane from me, so welcome to the call. Thank you for joining us. We've got KD here, and Kevin here, and Cloudy here, and Kevin, another Kevin. We've got Kevin Wilkes here. We've got, who else have we got here? Quite a few on tonight's training. This is building up very big. Lisa's here, and Lola's here, and Em's here, and Mary Lou's here, and Megan's here, and I'm missing loads, and Navin's here. My little brother's here. Patrick, how are you? Welcome to the call. Ramon's here all the way from the Netherlands. We've got Rick here. Good man, Rick. Nice to see you. Sky's here, so Davi's here. He's always here. So Hill's always here. Stuart's always here. Stuart, missing so many. Tor's here. But Andre, how are you? Thank you for coming to the call. Tommy's here. Taz here. Treasure's here. I've probably missed loads of names here because as I hit it, what happens is when I scroll down, it jumps up because more people are joining late. We have 169 on here, so that's not good enough, guys. That is not good enough. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine for a Sunday. William's here. Wayne's here. And guess who's not here? Yeah, you got it. Zoom user is not in the room yet. Zoom user is usually always here. So that's good. People are putting in their own names. With that said, let's get started. Let's give you a little overview from a training perspective, how to develop your organization, how to develop yourself, because it all starts with you. Let's just record tonight's and we're up to 172, by the way. Here we go.
Recording in progress.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this training presentation. We're here to do some team training, really just as a support system to support you in your new business, and particularly those of you that are new to the industry. And also those of you that are new to this opportunity, maybe joined this week, last week, or even this month. But you can never have enough training. You can never know enough. You can never learn enough. I learn every day. I try to learn every day. And so should you, to develop yourself beyond what you know today. You've heard the saying that knowledge is power. Well, it certainly is. The more knowledge you have about a subject, about a product, about a company, about a compensation plan, when you know all of that stuff juggling around and you can live effortlessly with this knowledge, that's the secret to live effortlessly, to be able to talk to somebody without fear, to talk to somebody from a standpoint of knowledge is fantastic. If you can't do that, or you're not that type of person, we have systems where you don't even have to talk to anybody apart from a very simple invitation. And we might even cover that on tonight's call. So before we start, let's get moving here and think about planning your success. What you need to think about is, if you had a guest registered this week or next, how do we support them? How do we get them started? How do we get some training under their belt? Because a presentation is just a presentation. A presentation is just an overview of the opportunity. So let's get into some more details. Let's have a look, create a success plan for you. Let's give you some tips for success. If you learn something, write it down, use it, reframe it in your own language, because maybe there's different cultures, maybe there's different ways of saying things, maybe there's different verbiage. There's slang used in some places that are stronger than others. So what you find, use it in your own format. What I say is just generic, and hopefully there's something here of benefit to you, something that can help you develop your business. So whilst I can show you exactly how to build this business, because that's easy. I'm actually going to show you on the flip chart tonight how to build it. But what's more important than that is why Aurum, why you're here now, why training, why give up time. And knowing your why is, for me, it's the most important thing. If I didn't have a reason for being here tonight, if I didn't have a reason or goals established, what I want to achieve, I probably wouldn't be at training tonight. So when you can know people's why, when you can find their hot button and keep them on point towards that hot button, if somebody doesn't show up in a Zoom, but you know their why, you can pull on that string. Well, what about this new house you said you were going to get? What about the extension to the home you said this business would supply? What about getting your children to the best possible education? So when you go into knowing what somebody's why is, it allows you to lean on that to keep their commitment, to keep them showing up. So the first steps to success, I always say, is make a decision. And you're either in or you're out. You're half in, you're half out. Make a decision. Hey, I've got a vehicle here, because this is what Aurum is. It's a vehicle that takes you from where you are today financially to where you'd like to be financially. That's what this is, okay? And no different than your motor vehicle. It gets you from A to B. This project can get you from where you are today financially to where it is you would like to be. And there's really no limits. Really no limits. The limits are inside here. It's what you believe is possible. But when you understand leverage, when you understand multiplication, and we'll do some of that on the flip chart today, when you understand the power of that, that's what got me into this industry. That's what many of the old experts, if you ask them, what was it got you into the business, or what made you think this vehicle, this direct sales model, it was the duplication. And in the old days, the experts used to teach it 5, 25, 125, 625, 3125. Okay, they used to charge, it used to say 5, 25, 125, 625, 3125. Most of you may not understand that. You may be too young, but that's how we were taught about the multiplication. And it's very, very, very important we look at that tonight, because I think if we go back to some of the old style mechanics, the old style thoughts and training and methodology, it still applies today. Even though we have AI, even though we've got these wonderful social platforms, I don't use them. My kids use them, but I don't use them. So first thing is make a decision. And that decision is not just you're doing it, but how often are you doing it? What commitment can you give to that decision? Are you doing it every day? Are you doing it part-time? Are you doing, some people are attending the Zooms every day. I see you again. That's fantastic. But what's more important is, are you bringing any guests to those Zooms to help expand your business? Because the Zoom I talk about is the shop window to your business. If you think of this time of year coming up towards Christmas, you see the shops are all dressed up. Harrods, if you think about Harrods in London, the shop window is what pulls the customer in. They go, wow, look at that. Doesn't that look good? Hey, I'm gonna try that on, or I'm going to see the price of that. And whatever's in the shop window draws you in. But there's times you go into a shop and don't buy. Isn't that right? Sometimes you go into the shop and you actually try something on. I don't really like that, or the material doesn't feel right, or no, it's too expensive. And we've all these reasons why we don't buy. And you have to apply what you know about normal life to this kind of business as well. Because if you share this idea with somebody and they don't join, people take it personally. Oh my goodness, yeah, my friend didn't join. Yeah, oh, you think it doesn't work because they didn't join you. You see, they probably didn't marry the person you married either. They probably drive a different car than you. They probably wear different clothing than you. They probably go to different holiday destinations than you. So we're all unique and individual. So allow people to say no and get used to it, because the more no's you get, the closer that brings you to a yes. But you can improve your rate of failure. You can improve that immensely by attending lots of trainings, by really working on yourself more than your business. If you work on yourself to get the right, you've got to actually practice what to say to people and how to say it, and how to frame it, how not to be feeling salesy, because people don't like being sold. But there are ways that they will buy from you if you say it the right way. And in tonight's training, we just don't have enough time to cover every subject. I could spend a whole hour just on this subject, never mind every other topic that we have. So in this industry, it's a process of continual learning, and take guidance and tips and hints from all the different trainings you attend. I only do this training on a Sunday evening because the rest of the week I'm busy just doing the shop window. I have people coming in through the shop window. You need people passing the shop window if they're going to come in and buy. There's no point having a shop with the doors closed. And for most of you, the doors are closed all week. And what happens is when the presentation's on at 8 or 9 o'clock, you open the shop doors, but you don't have a guest to come in. So think of it like that. You have a shop, but the doors aren't open to allow people to come in. Your shop window has not been exposed. So the biggest thing you need to learn is how to invite. You learn how to invite, and you can get somebody in front of the information, you've a chance. You have a remote chance, provided the presenter does a decent enough job. It doesn't have to be great, because you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. Yeah, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can't make a decision for somebody else, because we're all different. But you can offer them the opportunity to see the business. So please keep inviting to the presentation. I notice that we're stuck between 150 people and about 190. I notice every night it's between 150 and 190. And I don't know why. I mean, one day last week it went over 200. I saw 202. And then when I present, I can't see the numbers now because I've started. But at the start, I can see the numbers. And then at the end, I can see the numbers. But there was one night it was up at 202, and it may have been 202 plus. But we need to get those numbers ramped up. I remember when we started this, the room only held 100 people. And in the first week, we had 100 people. And therefore, I was getting calls, hey, I have 2 guests can't get in. Hey, I have 14 guests out there. Hey, there's lots of people can't get in. So we upped the room to 500. But we're only getting between 150 and 200. So there's some kind of blockage there that I'd love to see for your sake and our sake to try and increase the business. Now, the team, my team, I suppose, we registered 900 people last month, 900 in a month, and that's active. So that's pretty good. And that tells us something's working. So, but I'm surprised why it's not heading over 200, 300, because when I did presentations for other companies, I had 1,000 people showing up every night. 1,000 people couldn't get in, and I couldn't get a bigger room. And it's more exciting when we have 1,000 people on the call. But again, we probably haven't hit momentum. We're in pre-launch. The launch happens on the 17th of January next year. So maybe that's all yet to come. But I just wanted to mention that because I want you to start developing your business. I remember when I went to my first meeting years ago, and it was just me. And maybe this is your first meeting and it's just you. Maybe you're the only person in your business right now. And that's where I was with this opportunity on the 17th, on the 10th of April this year. It was just me. I had nobody, just me. I saw it and it was just me. But now I have 4,000 in the team. It's grown to 4,000 people. And I want you to think like that. Well, from just me, how do I become 4 people? You introduce 3. Now there's you and 3, which is 4. And then you help them do the same. You help them do the same. And the business starts to expand. And what you should try to do is Well, what I do mentally in here is I want to own half the room, minimum half the room. So if I went to a meeting and there was 20 people and just me, and I'd look around and say, okay, there's 19 other people here, and we're all starting to build this business. At the next meeting, I want to own half the room. So I invite a few people, 7 people come with me. So there's 8 of us and there's 40 in the room. I go, okay, so there's only 8 of us against 32. But that's better than 1 against 19. And then the next week I get all my guys to bring 2 each. So there's 16 plus the 8 is 24 and me is 25. And there's 50 show up at the next meeting. So now I have half the room. So you always want to just try for yourself. I think it's a great, I always challenge myself. Wouldn't it be great to have half the room? So for instance, at the launch, imagine you had half the room was in your team. Or if you've only started now, maybe it's at the annual renewal, or maybe it's the next convention, or, whatever the next, we're going to find out on the 17th of January where the next promotion is to, which destination. I've been told, not unconfirmed, that the next promotion is going to be sensational. The one at the launch is going to be sensational, and certainly something I won't miss. And I'd love to meet all of you guys there as well. So we as a team, what we need to do is we need to be focusing on results, focusing on, you should actually keep a diary, and that's something I'm very strong about. I used to not keep a diary. I thought it was stupid. Sure, diaries are old things. You have to write them. Sure, I've got a phone. I don't need a diary. Well, if I didn't have a diary, I couldn't run my business. I have appointment after appointment. 5 a.m. I had an appointment at 5 a.m. I had to get up at 5 in the morning to do a presentation. Yeah. Why? Because of the different time zones. Now, I went back to bed at 20 past 6 in the morning. But then I got up and then I had a presentation at 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9:15, and 10 o'clock. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had 7 Zooms on Monday the 17th. 7 Zooms I did. On Tuesday, I had one at 11 a.m., one at 4 p.m. with Rick, and you're on the call. I had one at 6 p.m. with Jason. I had one at 8 p.m., one at 9:15, one at 10, and one at 11 p.m. So on Tuesday, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Zooms. I never counted these before. I'm just looking. On Wednesday, I had one at 9 a.m. I had one at 12 into Singapore. At 2 o'clock, I did a call to the UAE. On 3 o'clock, I had another call. At 4 o'clock, I had the CEO call with Brian Benson. At 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So that day, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Would you believe that? On those 3 days, I did 7 Zooms, 7 Zooms, 7 Zooms. On Thursday, at 10:30 a.m., I did a call with Mike Bello and the team in South Africa with Brian Benson. And then I did another one at 11:30 with my 2 new guests from Romania and South America. Then I had a meeting at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 8 o'clock, the usual 8 o'clock meeting. So on Thursday, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7, 7, 7, 6. Now, why am I telling you that? Because I thought I was doing 3 to 5 a day. It's actually growing. I'm doing 7 Zooms a day. And, when people say, well, how did you make $1 million in 7 months? Well, it's working out at about 7 Zooms a day at the moment. Now, are the Zooms difficult for me? No. Why? Because I know my subject, because I don't have to think about it, because I present them effortlessly. Why? Because practice makes permanent. Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. So the more you do of something and the more frequently you do it, the more automatic and effortless it becomes. And that's where you need to get. That's where you need to get to. It's like anything. You have to create a habit. And if your habit is, well, I'm going to the 8 o'clock meeting on a Monday and a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and I can't do Thursdays, well, that's it. You do 3 meetings a week. But just remember, I'm doing twice as much as that in a day. So don't expect the same results because you are the dictator. You are the author. You are the author of your success. You see, it's nothing to do with your introducer. It's nothing to do with your upline. It's nothing to do with the company. It's nothing to do with your parent. It's to do with you. Because you have got to where you are today based on the decisions you've made. When you got out of school, you went into some job or career or business. I don't know what you did, but that was a decision. And you picked that vehicle, and you picked that industry, and you picked that style. And maybe 4 years later, you were doing something totally different with a different company or different business. And maybe 7 years after, you did something else. So through our life, you've got to try and design your own life. What's best for you? And what I've decided is, I'm nearly too late, but people work for 40 years of their life with an idea to retire when you get to about 60, 65 years of age. The idea is, listen, I'm going to work hard so I can retire. I'd like to go and see the world. I'd like to take things a little bit easier. I'd like to throw away the alarm clock that I don't have to get up. People have this kind of stupid idea. Because what you should do is work hard for 3 years and retire for 40 years. When you're fit to retire. When you're not too old to retire. Because when you get too old, things start to ache and twist. You don't want to travel. Yeah? You want to, so why not find a vehicle like this? Work your socks off for 36 months and decide when you retire. I think I could retire 12 months with this business. Say it again. I think I could retire inside 12 months with this business. And imagine the concept we took from school and the education system, that find a good job, work there through your career, get a pension and retire when you're 60 or 65. Guys, you want to be busy when you're 65. You want to be active. You want to be doing things. The worst thing you could do is sit down and do nothing. Stay away from that television. Stay away from that social media. But keep yourself active. Keep yourself moving. Keep yourself healthy. But what damages health very often is lack of money. Most people don't know that. Stress. Stress is the biggest killer. Why does stress come? Stress from work, stress from finance, stress from life. Somebody's always looking for money. The mortgage, the rent, the kids, whatever it is, stress, stress, stress. And if you can improve your finances, that stress moves away slowly, slowly, slowly. You get to a better position. So make a decision. Is this your vehicle? Make a decision. What is it that would retire you, and how long would that take? Because what we've got to do, guys, we've got to make us something else, make a plan. And we've got to plan what we're going to do with 2025. Guys, we have 6 weeks left. 6 weeks left. I'll give you off. You can take off the day before Christmas. You can take off Christmas Day. You can take off Boxing Day. You can take off New Year's Eve. There's 4 days you can have off. You can take another day off to go shopping for some presents. There's 5 days. Let's take off a week. Let's call the festive season a week. So you have 5 weeks left. What can you do in 5 weeks? What can you do in 5 weeks? Can you change your rank from Nova to Voyager? If you're a Voyager, can you get from Voyager to Vanguard? If you're a Vanguard, can you get from Vanguard to Vanguard Pro? Can you get to Nexus? Can you get to Oracle? Now, just talking about Oracles, the shareholder bonus will be given out at the event, the launch event. If you'd like to be on stage, getting recognized for Oracle to receive that bonus, that quarterly bonus, comes from all trading volume in the whole world. So it's not just your team, it's your uplines team, crosslines team, it's the entire revenue from the company. In the EXI bot, they're trading more than 50 million right now. That's growing and growing and growing. By the time you hit Oracle, some of you, it'll be 100 million. 3%, 3.175% of that goes to Oracles and above. You get a shareholder bonus on the entire body, so maybe that's your target. Oracle. If you can't hit it by the end of the year, hit it by the launch. But for those of you that do Oracle before the 30th of November, you've got 1 week. You'll be on stage receiving that bonus. That doesn't mean if you don't do it to give up on it, because if you miss this one, you get the next one. But it's all about qualifying. Some of you don't understand that yet, but we'll cover that. And then the next thing is take correct action, not massive action. Take correct action. You're better doing little bits right all the time instead of doing the wrong thing. What I find out is people do the wrong thing, or they do nothing. You could even write that down. They do the wrong thing, or they do nothing. Most people do nothing. Yeah, I'm in the business. Well, what do you do this week? Nothing. How many people did you introduce this week? Nobody. Okay. Did you get any customers today? No. Did you get any customers yesterday? No. Are you getting customers tomorrow? Don't know. Are you going to change rank this week? Not sure. I know I'll be a Dominion inside 12 weeks. I know that. I know that I will get $500,000 bonus inside 12 weeks. I've never had $500,000 in my life in one day. But I know this vehicle can drop by smart contract $500,000 instantly when I hit that rank. Is that something you can go for? I think it is, because this company is the same company for you as it is for me. Brian Benson is the same Brian Benson that I have that you have. The products that I'm using are the same ones that you're using. The compensation plan is the same for you as it is for me. God gave me 24 hours in a day. He didn't give you any less, and he didn't give you any more. So everybody on this call is equal. It's an equal opportunity. It's what you do. It's the decisions you make have brought you to where you are right now in life. The decisions you have made, not somebody else. You are responsible for your success. So if you make a decision, I made a decision that I would work hard at this for 12 months. And I mean hard, but it's not hard work. It's repetitive, but it's not hard. It's not difficult. You don't get hands dirty. It doesn't cost anything to work. It's $20 for a year for an international fintech business that could drop $500,000 into your account in one day. That's what we have. And you've got to get yourself to a state that you believe enough in the company, you believe enough in the products, you believe enough in the compensation plan, and you believe enough in you. So you've got to take the correct action. Most people are doing nothing. They join and do nothing. That's fine. So it's a decision. Get more active. Start doing more things. Start learning. And you will fail lots and lots of times. And people will say no lots and lots of times. Working on your goals towards, like, you have to ask yourself, I don't know, not everybody's full-time, right? Because we've jobs, we've careers, we've businesses. So you have to ask yourself, are you happy about the career you're in? About the business you operate, if you're in business? Or as an employee, are you happy with your present career? Could you be doing something better? Or you have got to examine deeply. So what I believe is setting goals are the first steps in turning the invisible into the visible. So what's invisible is the things you don't have. What's invisible is the things you don't have. So what you have is inside here. Everything you have today, everything you own is inside here. The house you live in, clothes you wear, the car you have, yeah, the holidays you go in. All of these things are in your comfort zone. The house you really like is over there. The car you really like is over there. The watch is in the Rolex shop, not on your arm. The hobbies you have to be on You see, some people work all year to take a holiday for 2 weeks. So they trade 50 weeks for 2. You should be taking a holiday 1 week in every month. You should work for 3 weeks and take a week off. Work for 3 weeks, take a week off. Work for 3 weeks, take a week off. That's a better type of holiday, my style, where you get 12 holidays in a year. Is that a better life? So everything you want. So what you've got to do is you've got to get uncomfortable. The reason you don't have these is because you're stuck in here. Because you're afraid to pick up the phone. Say, Tom, I've got a great idea. I want you to look at something. Are you available at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, or 8 o'clock, or 2 o'clock, whatever time it is in your zone? What is it you have? I can't explain it, brand new, but I need an hour of your time. If I sent you a link to the information, would you take a look at it? Yeah? What's it about? You will ask. I say, what's it about? It's about 45 minutes. No. What's it about? It's about 8 o'clock. But be early. But no. What's it about? Well, it's about making more money. So I've avoided every question there. Did you notice that? Because I'm not going to say, have you heard of Brian Benson? He actually used to work from Binance, and he's got this thing. It's called a robot. And this little robot does these trades. You make all this money every day, because the thing, and your money doubles in 2 months. And then there's this thing called Zeus. Have you heard of Zeus, the Greek god? There's this thing called Zeus. It's over there in Telegram. You do this, you do this, He's going to look at you and say, "Are you mad? What did you eat today? You're talking all funny. So be normal in your recruitment. Practice, understand. If you get it wrong, try something different. You get it wrong, try something different. Get it wrong, try something different. Get it half right, go, oh, that part worked. So what you're looking for is a yes. Yes. So here's how I get yeses. I don't like no's. Nobody likes no's. You go up and ask the girl for a dance. The boys go and ask the girl for a dance. On the dance floor, she says no. How does it? Oh, no. You have to walk off there in front of your friends. You go, oh, she said no. We don't like rejection, but we reject people every day. When you walk into the shop and the girl comes up and says, "Hello, sir, is there something I can help you with today?" You go, no, thanks, I'm having a look. You say no. Automatic no, because we hear no. 7 out of 10 times we hear no. Can't do that. Don't do that. Keep your hands off the table. Don't eat that. Stop doing that. No, you're not getting outside. Don't dirty your hand. We're conditioned with no. Negativity. No. So when you ask somebody, "Do you want to join my business?" No. Are you interested in trading? No. Do you know anything about EXI bots? No. Can you see what's happening? It's no. So you have to change that to yes. So how you change it to yes, and how you remove the rejection is very simple. I would say to you, "Hey, Tom. Hey, Joanne. Hey, Sarah. Who do you know might be interested in making more money in 2026 than they've earned in 24, 25 combined? Who do you know?" What? Who do you know, Tom, that might be interested in making more money in 2025 than they've made in 2024 and 2025 combined? Who do you know? Everybody. Everybody. Like, gee, my brother-in-law. Well, why would he want more money, Tom? Well, he had a shop in town, and after that COVID thing, the shop closed. But when he went back into it, it was never ever the same. Whatever happened, I don't know if he lose the customers, but he's struggling there, and he really needs money, and he's really okay. What's his name? I write down his name. Who else do you know, Tom, is interested in making more money? Well, funny enough, my young son is as well. Why? Well, he's had 3 interviews in this last month, and he hasn't got the job yet. He's waiting on one. He's hoping he's going to be successful, but there's a son of mine who's interested in making more. Who else do you know, Tom? My wife's brother. Why does he want more money? Well, he's a lorry driver, you see, and he was getting out of the lorry one day, and he hurt his leg, and he finds it. He just doesn't like it. He just wants an easier way. He wants to make money a different way. Actually, he's getting on in age, and he says he's fallen asleep at the wheel when he's driving. It's dangerous. He just wants out of that. He needs more money. Who else do you know? Well, me. You, Tom. You just make more. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. Well, I wasn't thinking of you, Tom. I wasn't thinking of you. But since you mentioned it, if I were to send you a link to some information, would you take a look at it, please? Yeah. Send me the information. What's it about? Oh, about 45 minutes. No. What's it about? Well, Tom, it's about making more money in 2026 than you've made in this last 2 years. That's what it's about. Oh, right. Well, but how does it work? Well, I can't explain it, but if I send you a link to the information, would you look at it? Yeah, send me the link. So did you see what I did there? I illustrated to you a technique that you don't pitch. Hey, have you heard of Brian Benson, EXI? If you say those things, no, you're looking for yeses. And the second thing I taught you there now was you don't ask the person directly. Hey, Tom, how are you? Would you like to make more money? No, I'm all right. No, money, I don't need money. I'm happy enough. You got to know because you asked him directly. But when you ask him indirectly, Tom, who do you know? Now, another thing you could say to somebody is, hey, Tom, do you know any smart people in the London region, in the UK? Do you know any smart business people in London? I can't think. Do I know anybody in London? Well, funny enough, since you mentioned it, yeah, there's a guy I used to go to school with. I'm nearly sure he's in London. He's doing very. What is he doing, Tom? What's his name? His name's Peter. I think he owns a jewelry shop in London, if I'm not mistaken. How well do you know? Well, I went to school. Have you got a number from me? Yeah. Well, why do you want my friend's number in London? Well, actually, I'm expanding my new business into the London region. I'm looking for some business partners. Well, what kind of business have you got? Well, it's really nearly too good to tell you, Tom. Actually, I don't have time to tell you, but tell you what, since you asked. But if I send you a link to some information, would you take a look at it? Oh, yeah. Actually, I never thought it might even suit you. Are you interested in making more money in 26 than you've made in 24, 25 combined? Yeah, are you serious? Yeah. Let me send you the link. So you don't mention anything about trading. If you call me up and says, hey, HB, are you interested? Would you be interested in trading? Trading? I don't know about trading. No. These traders, you can trade and make more money. No, not for me. Hey, HB, I've got this robot. It's unbelievable. You put your money in, you double your money. Bullshit. No, I'm not interested. You understand? You didn't hit my hot button. So there's techniques you can use to improve your success rate. And that's what we want to do. We want to help you be successful. Now, I could spend 3 hours just talking about those types of situations, but it all comes down to practice. It all comes down to correct practice. And you might have to practice in front of the mirror, and then you might have to practice with your family. And here's another way to get a customer. You could say to a friend of yours, do me a big favor. I'm expanding my new business, and I need a practice. And if I pitch you, can you tell me is this good or is this bad? And you can use them as a soundboard. And if you use them as a soundboard, you know what? There's a clever way of doing it. They will join your business as well. So you're actually using them as a soundboard to see how this pitch would go to pitch these guys, but you've attracted the interest of the soundboard to join your business as well.